Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Mike Gavin. I'm chair of the IAEM Conference Committee. Also joining us is David Barber, our vice chair, and Julie Husk, our staff conference manager.
Good afternoon, everybody. David Barber here.
Hello, this is Julie Haas. Welcome.
Donna Franklin, our other vice chair, could not be with us today. During this webinar, we're going to cover the submission process, the conference committee's expectations for submissions, and give a quick tutorial on the online submission portal. Our goal is to develop the best program for our conference, but we recognize that we need the best from our speakers to make it so. We'll share the recording with everyone who registered, and it will also be posted on the IAEM conference under the speaker pages. We welcome questions as we go through the slides. Please feel free to send your questions to us via the question box. If at the end of the webinar you wish to ask questions specific to your particular situation, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to one of us. Our contact information is also provided on the last slide.
The web address for the conference website is iaemconference.info. It's at the bottom of the screen. You can find it by typing it in your address bar or by going to the IAEM website, the association website, iaem.com, and looking for it under the Events tab. This is the main speaker page on our conference website. You can navigate to this page by clicking on the Speaker tab at the top, where you can see my cursor right now, and the blue navigation panel shown. There will be a green button on this page similar to the Register Today button for this webinar that will have the words Submit Your Presentation. This button will direct you to our online portal for breakout speaker submissions. The left-hand panel of the screen over here has clickable tabs to navigate to more speaker information. Currently available is the Breakout Speaker Information page. In the next few months, we will have information available on our e-admission box and our poster showcase submission process.
As Julie mentioned, this is a breakout speaker page. It contains all the speaker benefits and responsibilities. For example, registration, certified emergency manager credit, final slide document review, and selected speaker deadlines. The speaker submission guidance is located on this page. By clicking the hyperlink titled Review the Speaker Guidance under the Speaker Responsibilities header, or it's also located on the main speaker page previously shown. This is a must-read for all speakers looking to submit a successful speaker proposal. I urge you to follow the guidance. It was developed by the conference committee to provide all the requirements and tips for a successful speaker submission. Please don't call with questions prior to reading the guidance. It really is a speaker's go-to source for developing a proposal for a breakout presentation.
You can see the deadline. This is our deadline, and it will not be extended for any reason. Please plan accordingly. Another thing that I really want to stress here is don't wait until the deadline to submit. Try to get it in as early as possible. If you avoid the rush and stand out from the crowd, that will be to your advantage. Due to the large number of submissions and limited session slots, even submissions that score well may not be accepted. Bring your A game and put all your effort into one high-quality submission. All accepted speakers will be notified by May 1st. Our breakouts are 60 minutes with questions and will be held on Monday through Wednesday, November 18, 19, and 20, 2019. Anyone who submits for a breakout must comply with the No Logos feature. We understand that your organization may not agree. However, we would like to remind everyone that the IAEM Annual Conference Program is a platform for professional development and earnest learning, not for sales. All speakers will be assigned a speaker liaison who is a member of the conference committee. They will introduce you with the introduction provided during the speaker submission process, which you will have a chance to update prior to the conference. They will also be a timekeeper for your session and alert you if needed when time is running out.
New this year, IAEM will provide all selected speakers with a slide template to use. Logos will be allowed on the first and last slides of your presentation only. The first slide, as you can see here, you will insert the title of your presentation and the speaker's names. The last slide will have all your contact information to allow the audience to reach out to you after your presentation. The slide template is required to be used by all selected speakers.
Folks, we're really strict about using the slide template and only allowing speakers to insert company logos on the first and last slides. We will not allow speakers to use the IAEM annual conference as a platform to promote their company or organization. Of course, someone in the audience is probably wondering how the logo rule applies if the proposal is about a program or unit within a specific logo, like America's Preparathon. If this is you, please make sure to talk to one of us so we can advise accordingly. We understand some of the situations that you're in. Okay, so we always have a conference theme. And our conference theme for 2019, the 67th IAEM Annual Conference in EMEX, is Honor the Past, Treasure the Present, and Shape the Future. In order to help develop your session ideas, we have 3 topic areas to nudge your ideas along. These are not necessarily tracks, and as you review each area, consider how it might fit or apply to your personal and/or professional role. You can select any topic area or even suggest one of your own. When we speak to honor the past, emergency management has a long and impressive history. The field has rapidly changed over the decades. What improvements have you witnessed? What past practices and events have impacted you, solidified your commitment to expand and improve current practices? What were the most impactful events in the past? What challenges have you faced and met with success? What are the greatest lessons learned? Treasuring the future, or the present, excuse me. The present is all we have. The world, as we know, is rapidly changing. We must embrace the new normal in today's world. It's imperative to expand our connections and engage with others in our field by sharing ideas, resources, and best practices. How do you do that? How has working with others improved your practices, made you more effective? What obstacles do you face today? How do you share best practices? How do you develop and enhance partnerships? What do you do today when you face obstacles that impede your success? What public-private collaborations do you engage in today to achieve new opportunities in the whole community? And finally, shape the future. The future of emergency management will look much different in the future. What challenges do you anticipate? What will be the biggest obstacle to overcome? What innovations, technology, and practices will impact how you do your work? What emerging issues do you anticipate? What are you doing now to prepare for the future? What's your vision for the future of emergency management? What practices, training, professional development, and experiences will be the most critical for success? The topic areas are described in the speaker's submission guidance.
Before the brief tutorial begins, this link to submit presentations. It will be posted on the conference website, iaemconference.info, under the speaker pages. It will shut down on February the 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please do not wait until the last minute. A tip for you, read through the entire online submission form first and gather all supporting materials prior to entering information. This will help ensure a complete and well thought out submission. There is not a save function in this process, so it is important that you set aside some time to allow for entry of all of the information and get all of that done at one time before you hit submit. That's a very important thing to remember.
After you go to that web link there, this is the first page you will see in the online submission form. You will be required to enter all the contact information for the main speaker. If you wish to include your social media handles, please include the full URL complete with the HTTP or HTTPS for your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. These will be included in the IAM2Go conference app. Next, we'll ask you to submit a short bio that will be included in the online program. The bio is limited to 1,000 characters without spaces. We are also asking for your past speaking experiences, as well as 2 references from those who have heard you present, preferably at least 1 reference from IAEM.
Keep in mind this bio should be specific to the session that you've proposed. If you're accepted, this is what potential attendees of the conference will read in the program with your abstract as they decide what sessions are most relevant to their needs.
Next is the meat of your submission. Your title should accurately reflect what your session is, but should also be interesting and compelling. Your title is your 10-second elevator pitch that captures the interest of attendees. Your abstract should be short, descriptive, and a compelling story that would make attendees want to attend. The abstract is limited to 1,500 characters without spaces. Next, we would like you to tell us what the audience will get from your presentation. Lessons learned, specific points you will share, concrete recommendations, or suggestions others can use in their own jurisdictions. The speaker intro, this will be read by the speaker liaison at the beginning of your session. Keep it short and relevant to your proposed submission. The introduction is limited to 500 characters without spaces.
This is where you may want to seek out some help from one of us on the conference committee. We can read your drafts. We can help you distill the message and the language. As far as the abstract's concerned, get to the point. You have a very limited space to share a session abstract. This is purposely done. If the reviewers on the committee cannot understand what your session's about, then you've done yourself and us a disservice. How does your proposal fit into the theme and relate to the larger IAEM audience?
New this year, we are only asking for a prior presentation that shows your presentation style. You will need to title this presentation, prior presentation, and your last name. If your file is very large, please consider compressing it by going to smallpdf.com. And all files that are uploaded should be in PDF format, not PowerPoint or anything else. Our online portal can handle very large files, up to 500 megabytes. But the larger the file, the longer it may take your own machine to upload it to our system, and we wouldn't want you to wait and get frustrated with the process. So again, go to smallpdf.com, compress it, just make it the process a lot simpler and easier for you to. Lastly, as a speaker, you must agree to all these submissions in order to be considered as a speaker at the IAEM 67th Annual Conference. You'll need to click on every submission agreeing to the terms. At the bottom of the page, you will need to select whether this is a panel presentation or you have a co-presenter. If you select yes, it will populate another page to add the additional speaker contact information and bio. You must enter all additional speakers at this first submission process if you have any. When you're done submitting all speakers, click on the little button there, the little checkbox that says I am not a robot. Then click on the submit button. You must click on the submit button or else we will not at IAM receive a proposal. After you do click on it, you will receive a confirmation page. not an email. A page will populate on your machine saying that your submission has been received. If you don't see that, again, it does not come through to us. So make sure you go through the entire process of clicking that submit button and waiting for that confirmation page to appear.
We've provided a guidance for you to use. We also recognize that everyone is at a different skill or comfort level when it comes to speaking. We take that into account when we do the reviews. For those of you who have never spoken on a national stage, think about reaching out to one of us as you prepare your submission. The better your submission is, the better chance of getting selected. In the guidance, we go into more detail about the slides and how to develop them. Review that material. Please do not give us a wall of words. You'll receive a lower score. People do not come to sessions to read your slides. They come to the session to hear your story and to make it theirs. The last two items concern those who are accepted. As you consider putting a proposal together, know that if you're selected, a member of the conference committee will work with you to develop your session. This representative will also do a review of the slides with you to make sure that it meets our standards. If you're selected, we may ask you to focus on a variation of the proposal or maybe even to collaborate with someone else if it's a popular target. We pride ourselves on the level of personal attention and respect we give to our speakers all the way to the end.
We want to emphasize that we are looking not just for speakers who have spoken at the conference before, but we want new speakers as well. Everyone's welcome and everyone gets coaching as they need it. The speaker submission is chock full of helpful tips and it covers all the requirements for a successful submission. A reminder to complete all the fields. If we get an incomplete application, it will be disqualified. Double check for typos before you submit. We're a professional organization and we expect professional work from our speakers.
Here's our contact information. If you wish to brainstorm or have a review session, reach out. We like to get to know our speakers and provide that personal attention. From the plenary speakers to the breakouts, the forums, the committee works collaboratively to focus on respective speakers, helping them develop their sessions. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to assist you. At this time, I'd like to ask if there are any questions that maybe we have not answered. Remember, if you want to discuss specifics, reach out to one of us or all of us, copy in Julie. If you think of something later as you're developing your session or your ideas, don't hesitate to contact us. Keep in mind, this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out to all of those who have registered, and it will also be posted on the conference website once available.
Get some questions now. We had a pretty quiet group there. Hang on. If we partner with another organization for the presentation, can we use both logos on the first and last slide?
Absolutely. If maybe you have a panel discussion with 4 different agencies, we would like to see those 4 different logos on the first and on the last slide.
Another question is PowerPoint the only option, or could you use something else like Prezi?
Julie?
Yes, you can use something else like Prezi. I do need to remind everybody that when you do submit, for us to be able to view, we need something in a PDF format. So if you can make your Prezi into PDF, most people can. There's some people that I know in the past that aren't able to do that. So if you can have somebody help you, if you're not able to do it, that'd be great. We do need to see a PDF of a prior presentation in the submission process. The other thing to remind you is at the conference center, there is no internet. So if you're relying on something for Prezi that would need internet or anything within your presentation, that goes for all things, whether it's PowerPoint or Prezi. Please keep in mind that internet is not available in these session breakout rooms. Next question. Hello, what is the process for selecting keynote speakers?
We use a different process. What we have is we have plenary speakers that basically speak on the stage in front of all presenters. So we call those plenary. Our keynotes are more along the lines of what we call our partners. Someone representing USDA, FEMA, maybe the president of NEMA, some of the other organizations. Those also present on the main stage. Our plenary and our keynotes per se, there's several of us on the conference committee that get recommendations from the conference committee and members of IAEM. And so then we will take a look at who those speakers are that have been recommended for these positions, and then follow up with them when we start looking at what their message is, what their cost would be to bring them in, and what their availability is with the time periods that we have open.
So someone has now asked what the past, the present, and the future are the topics.
That's the past, the present, and the future are the topics we would like to focus on when it comes to emergency management. However, if you have another topic that you want to present on and you think that it is something that the IAEM audience needs to hear, I encourage you by all means to submit.
And a follow-up to that question is, are there any specific tracks to follow?
We really have tried to get away from tracks to get people to look at the broad offerings that are out there, but the latest and greatest in technology, case studies, after action reviews, leadership, whole community. There's a broad aspect that we look at. Try to keep in mind that in the audience of IAEM, you have the public and you have the private sector. You also have contractors out there. You have vendors out there. You have healthcare, law, fire, EMS, education, hospital, healthcare. So use some of what your audience is to maybe help you direct what your subject is that you're going to be presenting.
All right, next question is, how much do previous presentations factor into your decision on presentation submissions? On presentation.
David, do you want to answer that one?
Well, we like to look at style, and we like to look and make sure that the people who are presenting a story. Again, I'll go back to what Mike said in one of his earlier slides. What we don't want to see is a wall of words. That is a big deal breaker for us on the conference committee. We want to see that you have a compelling story to tell. And if one of your previous submissions shows us that you have a story that you want to tell, then, and if we get that concept from a previous submission, that is a big plus for us. If, however, on the other end, we see that it's just walls of words and walls of words and walls of words, then that does not endear us to that kind of submission. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that want to tell a story and have a compelling story to tell. So that's what we're looking for in previous submissions. I hope that helps.
Go ahead,
as a follow, yeah, as a follow-up to that, as we mentioned earlier, they don't want to read your slides. They want to listen to you. And I like to tell folks that, slides are to remind the instructor what to talk on, maybe give a little bit of a focal point to the audience, but we're really there to hear your story, as David mentioned.
And for those of you that are used to or like to put a lot of stuff on your slides as far as words and feel like you got to get that message out to the audience, what we have encouraged people in the past is to take that information that you want to get to your audience and put it in a handout. And you can upload that handout, send it to us at the same point in time that you're sending your final presentation to us if you're selected. and we will put that in the mobile app so that anybody that is in your session can access that information on the mobile app. And anybody that's also at the conference will be able to see the information that you want to get out there to the public in that handout on the mobile app. And you're also welcome to bring handouts to the conference as well. So there are other ways to get all that information that you want out there in front of the audience to them rather than putting it in words on the slide. The next question I guess I can ask, if we want to show a live web page, can we use our own hotspot and laptop in the presentation? Yes, you can use your own mobile hotspot to show a live web page or a short video if you want. People have also downloaded videos to thumb drives and put it that works. I would encourage you not to do any sort of long showing of a website or a video. As far as your own laptop, I prefer you not to bring unless it's a special situation. The reason being is that our breakouts are back to back at some times, and there's only so much time in between a speaker and the next speaker to get that set up and to troubleshoot any problems with AV and technical issues. If you really must have your own laptop, you can email us directly and we can talk to you about it. But I think we've had people have this before. We haven't had really a problem people bringing stuff on thumb drives or sending stuff to us, and we get it on a laptop so it's all ready to go rather than you bringing your own, because we will have them provided in the breakout session room. Next question. If you have multiple presenters or several panel members, should you submit previous national presentations for each member of the group?
I would say that's probably not necessary, but I would make sure that whoever is submitting a past presentation, that they are the one that is going to oversee the presentation that is going to be submitted for IAEM, so that the style, as David mentioned, is kind of consistent, so that we don't end up with a wall of words or a slide that is so busy that it takes from the presentation.
Okay, hang on. I have one that I think we can handle. All right, so this person would like to present a submission on disaster medicine and the mental health evaluations that were done post-Hurricane Maria 2017 with survivors and the emergency first responders as a clinical traumatologist. Will this fit in well with your present and future topics?
I personally believe it absolutely could, because there's a big push nowadays to look at disaster medicine, not only acute type stuff, but building upon what others did, what worked, what didn't. And I know throughout the country, actually throughout the nation, folks are also looking at the psychological medicine, the impact from the stress and the mental health. So I think this would definitely fit in.
Yeah, I could jump in on that. I think you could hit all three of them. Take the past, what happened in 2017, talk about where we are currently in the landscape of things right now with what's going on with the mental health picture, and project about how we could do better in the future. You could hit all three of our topics in our theme with that presentation.
All right, at this point in time, we don't have any other questions. I would just like to add one little tidbit for everyone out there who's thinking about submitting. Don't wait till the last minute. A lot of people I've heard do that. They get panicky. Their things are taking longer than they want. As Mike or David had said earlier, look at the online submission portal first. Get all your stuff together. Get it all written out. So all you got to do is copy and paste and put it in. Make it easier on yourself rather than waiting till 4:50 when it closes at 5 and trying to get it all in and jam it in there at the last minute. you're more likely to really, really rush yourself and not put your best foot forward in this presentation. This is your one chance, guys. So do it well, do it right, increase your chances of getting selected.
David, any closing comments?
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what Julie just said. I know a lot of people work really well under a deadline. So just give yourself a deadline of a week before the deadline and make that your deadline, and then wait to the last minute a week before and then put your submission in, and then you'll have plenty of time and you won't miss it and you won't get frustrated and miss out on joining us in Savannah, and you'll get to do your presentation and you won't have to wait a whole nother year to join us at a conference.
In closing, I'd like to thank all y'all for your time. I know everybody's got busy schedules, especially the beginning of a new year. And I look forward to seeing your presentations. Savannah is going to be a great conference. And again, if you have any questions, please get a hold of one of us or all of us. Thank you again and have a good day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, everyone.